For centuries, the galaxy looked down on us. To them, we were just humans. Small, fragile, and slow to learn. Other races were faster, stronger, and far older. They commanded massive fleets, wielded weapons of unimaginable power, and possessed technology we could barely dream of. That was the galaxy's belief. And that was their biggest mistake. On the distant planet of Eris Prime, we humans lived a quiet life. The world was harsh, a land of endless deserts, frozen mountains, and violent storms. But we adapted. We survived. We built thriving cities, sprawling farms, and advanced research stations. And we were learning much faster than anyone realized. I'm Commander Lara Drake. From the observation deck of our command center, I watched the dust storms rage across the plains, hiding the sun in a thick orange haze. For decades, our colony had known peace. But that peace was about to shatter. Commander, Lieutenant Milo Han's voice was tense. He pointed to the holographic display. Sensors have picked up alien ships. 4 fast-class interceptors closing in. My jaw tightened. Against alien warships, we had no real chance. Their plasma cannons could vaporize entire structures in seconds. How close? I asked, keeping my voice steady. 10 minutes, maybe less, Milo replied. They're not hailing us, just heading straight for our colony. We weren't being attacked for rebellion or war. It was for something much simpler, arrogance. The aliens believed we would surrender without a fight. They saw us as an easy target. They were about to find out just how wrong they were. Activate the defense grid, I ordered, engaging our small network of shields and automated turrets. Prepare the drones. We fight smart. We fight together. The alien ships appeared on the horizon, dark shadows slicing through the stormy sky. Their hulls gleamed, their engines leaving fiery trails in the dusty wind. We could feel the weight of the galaxy's judgment, but instead of fear, there was only focus. Energy levels are stable, Milo reported. We can hold them for a while, but not long. I nodded. I had spent years studying alien tactics, learning their weaknesses. We had one advantage the galaxy always forgot: our creativity. We could adapt, think, and act in ways no alien could ever predict. The first alien ship fired. A plasma beam tore through the sky, slamming into our outer shield. Sparks flew. Our turrets responded, but their lasers barely scratched the alien armor. The aliens expected us to panic. They expected screams. But we didn't. Deploy the decoy drones, I commanded. Within seconds, hundreds of small, fast drones launched from hidden hangars. They zipped through the air unpredictably, flashing lights and creating false heat signatures. The alien sensors went haywire. On their comms, we intercepted a confused voice. What are they doing? I allowed myself a small, hidden smile. We might be slow learners, but we have patience, and we have brains. The drones swarmed the alien ships, targeting their engines with micro-missiles. One interceptor lost control, spinning violently before crashing into the desert. The other ships hesitated. They had never seen tactics like this. They expected fear and surrender. Instead, they found humans fighting back, and fighting smart. Prepare the counterattack drones, I said. We're not stopping. The entire colony came alive. Engineers, scientists, every single person knew their role. We activated electromagnetic nets, laser turrets, and plasma traps. We turned our disadvantage into our greatest weapon. The aliens had numbers, speed, and technology, but we had ingenuity. Another alien ship fired, the beam ripping through one of our towers. But we had predicted this. The tower collapsed, and in its place another rose, reinforced and shielded. We adapted faster than they could destroy. Over their comms, an alien pilot shouted in frustration, "This is impossible! They're learning too fast!" That was the moment I was waiting for. We weren't just surviving, we were teaching the galaxy a lesson. A small human colony, unprepared for war, had found a way to fight back. And the aliens would not forget this day. The remaining ships tried to retreat, but we had anticipated that too. Using captured scout drones, we had set traps in the desert. One ship exploded mid-flight. The others faltered, limping away under heavy fire. Silence returned to Eris Prime as the orange dust swirled around the wreckage. We had survived. We had struck back. We sent a clear message: never underestimate humans. But this was only the beginning. The galaxy had noticed us, and they would come again. Bigger, stronger, smarter. I turned to Milo. "Prepare a report for the Council," I said. "They need to know. Humans fight differently. We think fast. We learn faster. And next time, we won't just defend. We'll strike." For the first time, humanity was not just surviving. We were becoming a force to be reckoned with. A force the galaxy never saw coming. The galaxy was about to learn a very hard lesson. Humans don't just endure, we retaliate, and we learn fast. The galaxy was buzzing. News of the humans' defiance on Eris Prime had spread like wildfire. Other species whispered in disbelief. A small, barely armed colony had survived an attack from the fastest and deadliest ships in the sector. Commander Lara Drake stood on a cliff overlooking the desert plain. Below, the wreckage of alien ships still glowed faintly in the dusk. Her team was working tirelessly, repairing defenses, reverse engineering alien tech, and preparing for the inevitable. The aliens would be back, and they would come stronger. "Commander," her second-in-command, Milo, interrupted her thoughts, pointing to a holographic map. "The alien scouts are still in orbit. They're sending signals to their fleet. If we don't act fast, the main strike force will be here in days, maybe even hours." Lara's mind raced. Retreat was not an option. Humans had proven they could defend themselves. Now, it was time to take the fight to them. "Prepare the stealth drones," she ordered, her voice firm. "We're going on the offensive." The humans had learned a critical lesson from the first assault. Alien ships were powerful and ruthless, but they were also predictable. Their tactics relied on shock and awe, on expecting their enemies to panic and break. Humans, however, were masters of the unpredictable. They learned and adapted faster than any species the galaxy had ever known. Under the cover of one of the planet's colossal sandstorms, the humans launched their drones. They were small, almost invisible, armed with EMP charges designed to disable alien engines. The raging storm was the perfect cloak. Above, in the calm of orbit, the alien scouts monitored the planet below. They detected nothing unusual. They probably laughed, thinking the humans were cowering in fear. That was their first mistake. The first drone struck silently, its EMP charge disabling an interceptor's engine. The ship spun out of control, careening into the stormy desert with a colossal explosion. The second drone followed, taking out a communications relay. "Commander!" Milo shouted, his voice filled with excitement. "It's working. They're in a panic. They can't figure out how we did it." A small, grim smile touched Lara's lips. The humans were no longer just reacting. They were dictating the terms of battle. The aliens had expected surrender. Instead, they got retaliation. Then, the humans struck again. Using salvaged alien tech, they hacked into a nearby surveillance ship. Suddenly, the alien fleet was flooded with false signals. Chaos erupted as ships mistook allies for enemies. Confusion spread faster than any weapon. The galaxy was watching. The narrative was changing. Humans weren't just defending. They were attacking with cunning, precision, and a fearless creativity that was utterly baffling. But the aliens weren't done. A massive warship, the size of a small moon, sliced through the storm clouds. Its cannons glowed with ominous energy. This was the real test. "Humans will die," a voice crackled through the comms, dripping with arrogance. "They cannot withstand true power." Lara looked at Milo and her team, their faces determined. "They may have size," she said, her voice low but clear. "But we have something they'll never understand. Ingenuity, adaptability, the human mind." The plan was already in motion. They lured the warship into the treacherous desert canyons, a labyrinth of jagged rock and magnetic anomalies. Mines they had planted months ago suddenly became devastating weapons. The warship's shields flickered and failed as it struggled to navigate the traps. Just then, a team of human pilots in retrofitted alien interceptors struck from behind. They were small, fast, and fearless. The warship's massive guns couldn't track them. Explosions rocked the canyon walls, filling the sky with dust and fire. They had done it. Against all odds, They had turned the battlefield into their personal playground. The warship was crippled, retreating in humiliation, leaving the humans victorious. But victory came at a cost. Parts of the colony were damaged. Supplies were low. And everyone knew this was just the beginning. The aliens would return, and next time they would bring their full strength. Lara gazed at the horizon, her face illuminated by the fires of battle. "They think we're weak," she said quietly. "They think we fear them. They just don't understand humans, and they never will." The humans of Eris Prime had sent a message to the galaxy. "We are not just survivors. We learn fast, we fight smarter, and we never, ever back down." As the dust settled, a new purpose filled the colony. The galaxy would soon learn a fundamental truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. The real fight, the one that would change the galaxy forever, was just beginning. The galaxy was buzzing, not with excitement but with disbelief. Whispers and fragmented reports from the far-off Eris Prime had finally reached the Galactic Council, the grand union of the galaxy's most ancient and powerful civilizations. And every single report told the same impossible story. A tiny, fledgling human settlement had not only survived attacks from elite alien fleets, but had struck back with a cunning and precision that defied all logic. In the vast holographic chambers of the Council, a shimmering dome of light displayed the human planet. Alien leaders, some with 6 calculating eyes, others with iridescent scales, and a few who seemed more like beings of pure energy, watched in stunned silence. The footage was undeniable. They saw human fighters, small and agile, striking down a warship larger than some of their own cities. "They are learning too fast," hissed High General Thrin, a fearsome reptilian commander whose reputation for crushing rebellions was legendary. His claws tapped a nervous rhythm on the console before him. "This is unprecedented. They should have fallen in minutes. Why didn't they?" Beside him, a counselor with translucent skin and glowing bioluminescent veins spoke, their voice a soft hum. "It is not just luck, General. Their tactics. They are unpredictable. They adapt with every engagement. Every strike is deliberate, precise. They think in ways we simply cannot anticipate." Meanwhile, light years away on Eris Prime, the humans were blissfully unaware of the galactic panic they were causing. Commander Lara Drake gathered her core team in the command center. "They are watching us," she said, her voice a low, steady hum of confidence. "And they are scared. That fear, that's our new secret weapon." A young officer named Milo frowned, his face etched with worry. "But Commander, they'll just send more, stronger fleets, weapons we can't even imagine." Lara nodded, her gaze unwavering. "Yes, they will. And that's exactly why we can't afford to wait. We can't just defend our home. We have to study them, experiment, and strike before they have a chance to regroup. The entire galaxy thinks we're primitive. That is their single greatest mistake." And so the work began. The humans of Eris Prime became a hive of frantic, brilliant innovation. Wreckage from captured alien ships was reverse-engineered. Simple colony drones were transformed into advanced, swarming attack units. Their own communication devices were modified to intercept and decrypt alien signals, allowing them to predict fleet movements before they even happened. The very terrain of their planet, the deep canyons, the dense forests, the volatile weather patterns, was mapped and weaponized for maximum defensive advantage. Every colonist, from the engineers to the farmers, became part of the plan. Every human was a weapon. High above the colony, alien scout ships watched in utter confusion. The signals they intercepted from their own fleet painted a picture of pure chaos. Human unpredictability was like a virus. Ships were firing on their own allies by mistake. Battle formations, perfected over centuries of warfare, collapsed into disarray. Panic was spreading faster than their light-speed communications. Their strategies were useless against a species that refused to play by the rules. Then a new shadow fell over Eris Prime. A mysterious, unknown warship appeared in orbit. Its hull was a void black, absorbing all light, and it was larger than anything they had ever encountered. It began emitting strange energy pulses that made human sensors scream, and shields flicker erratically. Its mere presence was a suffocating weight. enough to make even the bravest soldiers pause. "Commander," Milo said, his voice barely a whisper as he stared at the readings. It's colossal. We have no data on anything like this." Lara's eyes narrowed, a glint of defiance in them. "Exactly, and it thinks it's coming here to end us. Well, let's show it something it will never forget." The humans had learned a critical lesson from the first attacks. Alien arrogance was their greatest weakness. They were always underestimated, and the humans would use that hubris against them, time and time again. A massive stealth operation was launched. Small elite strike teams moved through the canyons and forests, completely undetected, placing electromagnetic traps and advanced jamming devices in key strategic locations. They studied the new ship's energy patterns, learning its rhythms, finding the precise moment its shields would be vulnerable. Every move was calculated, every risk was measured, but they were bold. Back in the Galactic Council, the leaders watched the events unfold, their initial shock turning to horror. This cannot be happening," Thrin growled, his voice trembling with a rage he couldn't contain. "They are learning from every single encounter. They adapt instantly. How can a species so young be this dangerous?" Lara knew this was only the beginning. Humans had proven they could hold their own on Eris Prime, but now the entire galaxy was paying attention. And that kind of attention brought much, much greater threats. As night fell over the colony, the humans looked up at the stars. The silent explosions in orbit, the faint hum of distant alien fleets. They were no longer just defending their home. They were becoming a symbol of resistance, of ingenuity, and for the rest of the galaxy, a symbol of terror. For the first time, the people of Eris Prime truly felt it, the immense weight of destiny. The galaxy had noticed them, and it would soon learn one simple, undeniable truth. Humans cannot be controlled, outsmarted, or broken. They fight differently, they learn faster, and they will never, ever surrender. But in the deep shadows of the Galactic Council, a new figure finally emerged from the background. A strategist feared even by the oldest and most powerful alien races. Quiet, calculating, and unspeakably cruel. This being had studied the humans, and was now determined to extinguish their flame before it could become a wildfire. The stage was set. The galaxy had noticed humanity. And now, the humans of Eris Prime would face their first true challenge. One that would test every skill, every tactic, and every single ounce of courage they possessed. The colossal alien warship hung over Eris Prime like a promise of death. Its dark hull swallowed the light from the twin suns, its engines humming a tune of absolute destruction. We'd faced raids before, skirmishes in the dark, but this was different. This was an armada, a single world-breaking vessel sent to erase us from the stars. In the command center, Commander Lara Drake watched the holographic display, her face a mask of stone. We had one shot. We couldn't match their power, so we had to outthink them, outmaneuver them, and be the last thing they'd ever expect. Fear, she always said, was a tool, not a chain. Milo, our lead analyst, broke the silence. "Commander, its shields are almost absolute. Our weapons will just bounce off. If that thing fires its main cannon, half the colony vanishes in a heartbeat." Lara's mind was a whirlwind of tactics and desperation. We had learned from every encounter, every loss. Our strength wasn't brute force, it was our stubborn ingenuity, our ability to adapt, and our sheer, unrelenting courage. "Then we don't hit it where it's strong," she said, her voice cutting through the tension. "We hit it where it thinks we can't possibly reach." The plan was insane. We launched multiple small strike teams in retrofitted alien interceptors, each ship armed with EMP grenades and precision missiles. Our mission: fly into the warship's blind spots, using the labyrinthine canyons of Eris Prime for cover, and disable its engines from the inside out. As our first teams screamed toward the behemoth, its shields flared to life. Beams of pure energy sliced through the canyons, turning rock to molten slag. But our pilots were the best. They danced through the chaos, weaving through rock spires and deploying holographic decoys. Our small size and erratic flight paths made us ghosts in their targeting systems. "Commander," Milo yelled, his finger jabbing at the display. "They're hurting us, pushing our squadrons toward the open plains." A grim smile touched Lara's lips. "Good, that's exactly where we want them." Months ago, we had laid a trap. Deep within the canyon floors, we'd hidden a network of powerful magnetic anchors and EMP mines. As the alien warship descended into the designated zone, we sprung it. The Leviathan shuddered violently, its engines sputtering as sparks cascaded across its hull. For the first time, the aliens weren't just fighting us. They were fighting the planet itself. We controlled the battlefield. Then came the final blow. Commander Drake herself led the charge, a specialized team of pilots on a suicide run to deliver a payload of advanced explosives directly to the ship's exposed engine core. The canyons roared with a symphony of explosions as the warship flailed, firing blindly. But we were already gone, vanishing back into the shadows we called home. From the command center, we watched it falter. The great ship, battered and humiliated, slowly disengaged and limped back into the void. The colony erupted in cheers. We hadn't just survived. We had punched a giant in the mouth and lived to tell the tale. But the victory was short-lived. "Commander," Milo said, his voice low. "They're regrouping. Reinforcements are inbound from 3 sectors. This isn't over, it's just beginning." Lara's gaze was fixed on the stars, her expression calm, resolute. "Then we'll show them what it means to fight humans. We fight smarter, we learn faster, and we never ever give up. They think power is everything. We're about to teach them how wrong they are." A message was sent that day. We weren't just survivors clinging to a rock. We were challengers. The whispers began to spread through the alien fleets, a seed of doubt and fear. These humans, they were different. Lara turned to her team, her eyes burning with defiance. "Prepare for the next wave," she commanded. "We don't hide, we don't run. We are humans, and the galaxy is about to learn that we hit back, hard." The stars over Eris Prime seemed to glow a little brighter that night. We had survived. We had fought back, and the galaxy was finally paying attention. Above Eris Prime, a massive alien warship hung in the sky like a dark storm. Its black hull swallowed the faint light of the twin suns, its engines humming with deadly power. Humans had never faced anything this large. This wasn't a raid. It was a full-scale threat meant to crush them. Commander Lara Drake stood in the command center, her eyes locked on the holographic display. There was only one chance. Fight smarter, faster, and unpredictably. Fear was a tool, not a weakness. "Sir," Milo said, pointing to the warship, "its shields are nearly impenetrable. Standard weapons won't touch it. If it fires its main cannons, half the colony is gone before we can react." Lara's mind raced. Humanity had learned from every encounter. Their strength wasn't raw power, it was ingenuity and courage. "Then we hit it where it can't expect," she said. "We hit it where it thinks we cannot." Humans launched multiple small strike teams in retrofitted alien interceptors, each carrying EMP grenades and precision-guided missiles. Their plan was audacious: fly into the warship's blind spots and disable its engines, using the massive canyon system of Eris Prime for cover. As the first team approached, the alien ship activated its shields, slicing deadly energy beams through the air. The human pilots dodged and weaved through the canyons, using holographic decoys to confuse their enemy. Their small size and unpredictability made them nearly impossible to target. "Commander," Milo shouted, "they're trying to herd us into an open area." Lara's eyes narrowed. "Good. That's exactly what we want." Hidden deep in the canyon floors were magnetic traps and EMP mines, set months earlier. As the alien warship moved into the trap zone, the humans triggered them. The ship shuddered violently as its engines stuttered, sparks flying across its hull. For the first time, the aliens realized humans could control the battlefield. Then came the final strike. Lara herself led a team to deliver advanced explosives directly to the ship's engine core. The canyon echoed with explosions as the warship struggled, firing blindly. But the humans were already gone, retreating into the shadows, From the command center, they watched the alien warship falter and retreat, battered and humiliated. The colony erupted in cheers, but the victory was bittersweet. "Commander," Milo said, "they're regrouping. Reinforcements are coming. This could be the start of a full-scale war." Lara's expression was calm. "Then we show them why humans are different. They think power is enough. They will learn that it is not." The humans had sent a message. They were not just survivors. They were challengers. Above the colony, the alien fleets shifted, whispering among their ranks, "These humans, they are not like anything we've faced before." Lara turned to her team. "Prepare for the next attack. We are not hiding. We are not afraid. We are humans. And the galaxy will soon remember that humans retaliate, and they learn fast." Deep in the desert plains of Eris Prime, an exploration team scoured the wreckage of the retreating warship. What they found was not just technology. It was a data core, pulsing faintly with alien energy. Back in the command center, Lara studied the core. This one could tell us everything. Hours of decoding revealed a chilling truth. The alien fleets were not acting alone. They were part of a galactic coalition, all controlled by a shadowy force known only as the Architect. This ancient being had a singular goal: to dominate every intelligent species in the galaxy. "This is massive," Milo said, eyes wide. "The fleets we've seen are just the tip of the iceberg. If they decide to target us, we might not survive." But fear doesn't govern humanity. Action does. "Then we prepare," Lara said. "If the Architect wants to test humans, we'll make sure it learns something too. Humans fight differently, and we never surrender." Meanwhile, news of humanity's discovery spread through the Galactic Council, sparking panic. High General Thrin growled, "They know too much. We must eliminate them before they unravel everything." On Eris Prime, humans reverse-engineered alien tech at a feverish pace, discovering new weapons and energy systems. They knew this was no longer about survival. They were now key players in a galaxy-wide struggle. An alert suddenly rang through the command center. New ships, faster and more numerous than before, were emerging from hyperspace. This was the prelude to war, orchestrated by the Architect itself. "Prepare the defenses," Lara ordered, "and get ready for offensive operations. We're not waiting to be destroyed." In the dark reaches of space, a cold, calculating presence observed Eris Prime. The Architect was intrigued. The humans had survived, struck back, and uncovered the galaxy's greatest threat. Their ingenuity had set them apart, but would it be enough? One thing was certain: the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. The battle for survival had just become a battle for the galaxy itself. The galaxy held its breath. News of human defiance had spread to every corner, sparking whispers and fear among alien civilizations. But no one knew the full extent of what humans were capable of. Not yet. Commander Lara Drake stood at the center of the colony's command hall, surrounded by engineers, pilots, and scientists. Data from the captured alien warship revealed the terrifying scale of the Architect S fleet, a force so vast it could annihilate entire star systems. "We have one chance," Lara said, her voice steady. "They think humans are slow. They think we just react. But we do more than react. We adapt. We turn weakness into strength. And today, we strike." Milo projected a holographic map of the galaxy, showing enemy fleet movements, hyperspace lanes, and vulnerable command points. The plan was audacious. Humans would divide and conquer the enemy's fleet using decoys, traps, and guerrilla tactics. They would fight where the aliens were weakest and strike where they were most confident. "Stealth drones will infiltrate their formations," Lara continued. "EMP charges to disable engines, hacking viruses to disrupt communications. Our strike teams will hit their energy cores, and will use the terrain, asteroid fields, gas clouds, and magnetic anomalies to hide our movements. They won't see it coming." The human operation launched under the cover of a massive nebula, a swirling storm of charged particles that masked their approach. Small strike ships darted through the cosmic clouds like lightning, completely invisible to alien sensors. The first wave of drones hit. The engines of massive alien cruisers faltered, sending the ships spinning out of formation. Communications were jammed, causing immediate confusion and panic. Aliens fired wildly into the void, striking their own vessels by mistake. Chaos spread faster than any human weapon ever could. Then Lara's team executed the boldest part of the plan. Using stolen alien tech, human ships cloaked and approached the main fleet's command vessel, a colossal structure twice the size of the previous warship. "Lock the core coordinates," Lara ordered. "This is it, the heart of their fleet." The human pilots moved with chilling precision, dodging energy beams, weaving through debris, and delivering EMP grenades directly to the enemy's engine systems. Explosions erupted across the command vessel's hull. Its shields collapsed, its engines failed. For the first time, the Architect's forces experienced fear. Their centuries of dominance had not prepared them for a species that thought differently, fought smarter, and adapted faster. The tide of the battle shifted dramatically. Human strike teams exploited every weakness, hitting isolated alien fleets, capturing ships and turning enemy weapons against them. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as a tiny human colony challenged and crippled one of the most powerful forces it had ever known. But the humans were not finished. Lara had one final, nearly suicidal move. A small, elite team would board the disabled alien command ship. Their mission wasn't to destroy it, but to plant a virus in the fleet's central control systems, giving humans control over navigation, communications, and weaponry. The boarding team breached the hull, navigating corridors filled with alien technology and automated defenses. Every step was precise, every second critical. The virus was deployed, and suddenly, hundreds of alien ships across the battlefield just stopped, spun out, or began firing on each other. Lara watched from her command center as the alien fleet fell into total disarray. Victory was within reach. Humans had turned strategy, creativity, and sheer courage into weapons stronger than any plasma cannon or fleet of warships. The galaxy would never forget this moment. Humans had proven that they were adaptable, fearless, and utterly unpredictable. They didn't just survive. They dominated the battlefield using brains, ingenuity, and teamwork. Lara turned to her team, exhaustion in her eyes but fire in her heart. "We've made our mark. They underestimated us. They will never underestimate humans again." Above Eris Prime, the stars seemed to shine brighter. The humans had changed the course of history. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Humans fight differently. They learn fast, and they never back down. As the last of the Architect's fleet limped away, one thing was certain. The humans were no longer a threat to be ignored. They were a force to be reckoned with. But even in victory, Lara knew this war was far from over. The Architect had noticed them, and it would return, stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than before. For now, humanity had won the turning point. After countless battles, retreats, and ambushes, humanity had finally cracked the code. They had deciphered the secrets of the Architect's fleet, turning every weakness into a strength, every improvisation into a flawless strategy. But the greatest test was yet to come, the heart of the Architect itself, a colossal command ship orbiting a dying star, a fortress defended by hundreds of advanced warships and deadly automated defenses. Commander Lara Drake stood on the bridge of the flagship Intrepid, the entire human fleet poised behind her. Every soul on board knew the stakes. This wasn't just about survival anymore. Humanity had become the spearhead of a battle that would define the galaxy. "Today," Lara announced, her voice calm yet resonating with power, "the galaxy will see what humans are capable of. We are not just survivors. We are fighters, thinkers, and adapters. And we will not be broken." With that, the fleet advanced into the dense asteroid field surrounding the enemy command ship. Using a combination of stealth tech, decoy drones, and perfectly timed energy pulses, they slipped past enemy patrols unnoticed. Mines detonated remotely, severing the enemy's reinforcement lines before they even knew a battle had begun. The first strike teams then hit the command ship's shields with precision EMP pulses. The massive vessel shuddered, its automated defenses scrambling to respond to tactics they simply couldn't anticipate. Every human move was unexpected, intelligent, and lethal. While the space battle raged, Lara led an elite boarding party deep inside the command ship. They moved with silent speed through its metallic corridors, disabling security systems, hacking into energy cores, and planting digital viruses designed to shut down weapons, engines, and communications. Outside, the human fleet danced a deadly ballet. Smaller, agile ships darted around the lumbering warships, striking at their exposed weak points, using every ounce of cunning and technology humanity had painstakingly developed. The alien commanders were baffled, their centuries of military dominance offering no counter to this new, unpredictable way of fighting. Humans thought differently, and they adapted instantly. Finally, Lara and her team reached the central control core. The architect's AI threw everything it had at them: energy fields, defense drones, even psychological simulations designed to break their will. But the humans had prepared for everything. With a final, decisive keystroke, the master virus was activated. All at once, energy readings across the alien fleet plummeted. Shields collapsed. Engines sputtered and died. The once invincible command ship began to drift helplessly toward the dying star. One by one, its surrounding warships lost power, spinning out of control, before exploding in a spectacular silent chain reaction across the void. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Humanity, small, fragile, and so vastly underestimated, had toppled the mightiest force it had ever known. Back on the bridge of the Intrepid, Lara let out a long breath, exhaustion mixing with pure triumph. "We did it," she whispered. "They thought we were weak. They thought we would surrender. They were wrong." The victory sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. Alien civilizations that once dismissed humanity now reevaluated their position. Arrogance was replaced with a mixture of fear, respect, and awe. Humanity had proven a fundamental truth: that brilliance, courage, and adaptability could overcome even the most overwhelming power. The journey home was long, and their losses were real. But human morale had never been higher. They had faced impossible odds and not only survived but triumphed. Looking out at the stars from her colony on Eris Prime, Lara felt a quiet pride. Humans were no longer the galaxy's underdogs. They were its challengers, its innovators, and its defenders. And somewhere, deep in the void, the architect was watching, learning. For the first time in eons, it had encountered a species it could not control or predict. The galaxy had learned its lesson, and it would never underestimate humanity again. The fires of war on Eris Prime have finally died down. The alien fleets have scattered, and in the quiet aftermath, the colony slowly stitches itself back together. Commander Lara Drake stands on the observation deck, a silent sentinel gazing at the sea of stars. We did it. Humanity survived the impossible. We faced down an ancient, unknowable power and emerged victorious. We proved to an entire galaxy that we were not to be trifled with. But this peace, it's a fragile thing. The architect, that vast, calculating intelligence, has retreated. But it hasn't forgotten us. Somewhere out there, in the cold, dark void, it's watching, it's learning, and it's planning its next move. We all know it. Every soldier, every engineer, every colonist. We fought with everything we had. We learned faster than we thought possible. And we won. But this is just the end of the first chapter. The real war, the war for our place among the stars, has only just begun. Milo breaks the silence, his face illuminated by a data slate. "Commander," he says, his voice a mix of exhaustion and excitement. "It's happening. Human colonies across the sector are mustering their own fleets. The news of our victory is spreading like wildfire. And get this, some of the other species, the ones who watched from the sidelines, they're reaching out, they're offering alliances." Lara gives a slow, thoughtful nod. "Good. Let them." The galaxy is finally learning that humanity isn't a species to be underestimated. But we have to be smart about this. Every victory paints a bigger target on our backs. And every new target brings new lessons we have to learn, and new strategies we have to invent on the fly. Look up. Above Eris Prime, our ships, small but resolute, are already pushing out. They are our eyes and ears, charting the unknown, seeking allies and sniffing out threats before they can find us. We're no longer the isolated fledgling species huddled on a single world. We've stepped onto the galactic stage. We are the wild card, the unpredictable force, the relentless newcomers who refuse to bow. Even now, in the hallowed halls of the Galactic Council, whispers fill the air. The old powers, the ancient species who thought they had seen it all, are talking. These human, one murmurs, a flicker of fear in its multifaceted eyes. They're changing the balance of everything. They adapt faster than any species we've ever recorded. We were wrong to ignore them. Lara turns back to her command crew, her voice ringing with a newfound strength. We survived. We triumphed. But survival was never the ultimate goal. The goal is to grow, to understand, and to prepare for whatever comes next. Humans learn fast. Humans fight smart. And humans never, ever give up. Now, we begin the next chapter. As the artificial night settles over Eris Prime, the stars seem to burn with a fierce new intensity. A message has been sent, a warning delivered to every corner of the cosmos. Humanity is awake, we are aware, and we are ready. The galaxy will never make the mistake of underestimating us again. Somewhere, in the shadowy depths of space, a new challenge is stirring. Something that will test our resolve, our ingenuity, our very limits. But we're ready, we're always ready. Because this is what we do. We survive, we fight, we adapt, we thrive. The galaxy has learned a permanent, undeniable truth. When you push humanity into a corner, we don't just push back, we become unstoppable. And this is just the beginning. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this glimpse into humanity's future, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join us on our next journey into the unknown.